Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. The topic for discussion we have today is reservation system of India. So, the origin of classification was based on the gun of a person. Lord Krishna describes three guns in the Bhagavad Gita. In chapter 14, the Sattva gun denotes purity, luminosity, selflessness. The Rajas gun denotes passion, activity and attachment to action and the fruits of action. The tamas gun is born of ignorance, lethargy, selfishness, and delusion. Knowledge arises from rajas, greed from sattva, heedlessness, delusion, and also ignorance arise from tamas. Based on the above gun, a fourfold classification has been made in Gita: the Brahmanas, the Kshatriya, the Vaishya, and the Sudra. The Brahmana, who was in a state of sattva, could control his sense organ and had mastery over his mind, and could in meditation dwell on the infinite. The grant of Brahmana status on the basis of birth is unknown to the scriptural teachings of Lord Krishna. The caste system established on the basis of birth is distortion, which is deliberately practiced by the Brahmanas in a self-serving manner. The next, Kshatriya, in whom the dominant quality was Rajas, would be attached to his action and would engage in new endeavors to gain more and more power and splendor. But his Rajas gun was colored by some sattvic qualities, because of which he would be so generous and would have other noble qualities of benefiting other people. The Vaishyas would have a domination of Rajas quality, which would be supplemented to the nature of tamas. So the Vaishyas would be engaged in action but would not be having the nobility of Kshatriya. He would be greedy on account of the tamas gun. The next, Shudras were those who were of the lowest category, since they had a domination of tamas and were the kind of person who would be lazy or those remaining in a state of intoxication. The lower categories move up increasingly the sattva gun and by reducing the tamas gun, and vice versa. The same person could fall in different classification at different times depending on his inner disposition. A perfectly valid classification having a spiritual basis was distorted by those who claimed to be Brahmanas and who continued the distortion by granting the caste on the basis of birth. A so-called Brahmana by birth, whose dominant trait was in fact tamas, would ruin the temple where he sits as a priest. Similarly, so-called Shudra, who was in fact endowed with sattvic qualities, would raise even ordinary menial jobs to high spiritual level. This spiritual fourfold classification have been given by various self-serving expositions, resulting in a system that is in vogue today. Now, moving forward to the today's scenario, we see that the casteless outcast of Indian society, subjected for centuries to the unfathomable social suppression and economic depravity, have been complied together, and what we know to us today as the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes under the constitution. Their plight has been described in various ways. Rabindranath Tagore described this as gigantic cold-blooded repression. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar termed this as a graded inequality. Swami Vivekananda spoke for Shudra Raj and questions the hereditary claims of the Brahmanas, while calling out to arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. To illuminate the lot of these scheduled caste and scheduled tribes reservation in promotion has been provided. Such issue can be divided into two categories: the pre and the post Indra Swahini. Moving to the pre-Indra Swahini, we have Article 16, which permits the state to make any provision for reservation of appointment of post in favor of any backward class of citizen, which in the opinion of state is not adequately represented in the service under the state. Although the expression used in the aforesaid subclause 4 was reservation of appointment or post and not promotion, the Supreme Court consistently interpreted the said provision as permitting reservation in matters of promotion as well. In Rangachari 1962, Justice Gajendra Gadkar upheld reservation at the promotion tier for selection post. The numerical and qualitative tests were both to be applied to determine adequacy, and the state could therefore take the view that a certain percentage of selected posts should be reserved, the adequacy of such representation being considered qualitatively. After about 20 years, a prayer was made in the Karamchari Sangh 1981 that Rangachari required to be recognized. In rejecting the said prayer, Justice Krishna Iyer felt that the real power could be shared by the weakest section only if the doors of higher decks were opened to them. Further, under Article 16, subclause 4 was not meant for Harijans to only become scavengers and sweepers, but officers as well. In the bench of 7 judge had in N.M. Thomas 1976 also upheld the said view. After noticing the Rangachari had held the field for about 30 years, Justice Reddy placed reliance on the observation in the Rangachari that there was a risk involved in sacrificing efficiency of administration, thus leading to the Indira Swani versus Union of India case. In the said case, the 9-judge bench took the view that there was no justification to multiply the risk which would be consequence of holding the reservation can be provided in matters of promotion. Also, the Article 335 and the obligation of state to consider the claims of backward classes consistently with the maintenance of efficiency of administration. Rangachari not only required the risk involved in sacrificing the efficiency of administration must always be borne in mind when any state sets about making a provision for reservation of appointment or post. Further, Indira Swani went on to permit reservation in matters of direct recruitment, even in higher levels of administration and not merely in the level of class 3 and class 4. The said view begged the question that if reservation by way of direct recruitment was permissible for class 1 and class 2 posts, then why not by way of promotion? Thus leading to the 77th Constitutional Amendment in 1995 and 85th Constitutional Amendment in 2001. Indira Swani upheld reservations already made, and while holding that it is a forced decision of striking out reservations shall operate only prospectively, it was permitted reservation which has already been provided in matters of promotion to continue to operate for a period of 5 years from that date. In the intervening period, Article 16, 4A was introduced by way of 77th Constitutional Amendment with effect from 17th June 1995, and reservation in promotion was brought back. Consequential seniority was also provided by way of 85th Constitutional Amendment given effect from 17th July 1995. Indira Swani upheld. In Nagraj versus Union of India, the said amendments became the subject matter of challenge before the Constitution. The amendments were upheld, but with additional mandate that the state will have to show the existence of backwardness, inadequacy of representation, and overall administrative efficiency before making provision for reservation in promotion. While Indira Swani required that the state can utilize the material if already had in its possession, Nagraj laid down that the state had to collect quantifiable data. This was subsequently interpreted by Supreme Court to mean that a fresh exercise had to be carried out to collect quantifiable data to determine inadequacy of representation. This is contrary to Indira Sohani as the requirement of establishing backwardness of Supreme Court and scheduled tribes has been struck down in Jarnail Singh 2018, since scheduled castes and scheduled tribes are indubitably backward as per Indira Sohani. Thus, we reach to the conclusion that while it is true that various benefits have been granted to the backward classes for many decades since independence, it is also equally true that their condition continues to remain pitiable. Along with other steps, one can perhaps take guidance from the scriptures that Lord Ram granted the boon of bhakti to Kevat, who met him on the bank of holy Ganges. The same grace was showered on the backward tribal Nishad chief who accompanied Lord Ram in the forest. Even when Bharatji embraced the Nishad chief, Tulsidas ji records in Sri Ramcharitramanas that he felt as if he had been embraced Lakshman and could not control the love in his heart. Love, compassion, and enfoldment can do wonders. Sir Martin Luther King had said, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that." Till then, a Supreme Court will remain a Supreme Court, no matter what position he occupies. So, thank you for watching my video. Do like and subscribe.